City, where the dynamic and charismatic Paul Vizzio challenges new powerhouse Cliff Magic Thomas for the PKA Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Phil Stone and Bill Superfoot Wallace called the action.
And here we go, Bill, round one. What do you expect from the fighters in this fight?
I would think Vizzio, being the technician he is, will try to just work some combinations, but he goes right at him. I think Cliff will just kind of see what happens at first.
Vizzio is certainly known for his aggressiveness.
Right, I think Cliff will kind of just see what he's going to try to do. Again, Cliff is fighting southpaw or right side forward, and I think he's going to catch a couple times Paul coming in.
Well, when you fight from the southpaw stance, everything comes from the opposite way. Nothing is right.
Right, and then, you know, like, he'll work this movement, and then it'll be different because it's not the same as when you fight a right side. Good kick, good kick.
The world champ, Cliff Thomas, has an excellent left hook. Vizzio puts Thomas against the rope, spins him out of the corner.
I think Paul has to watch out for the hand combinations because as tall as Cliff is, he's still very good on the inside.
Thomas, the black fighter. Vizzio, the United States champion, the white fighter. Less than a minute to go in the opening round.
And there was a good judo chop.
Good round kick by Thomas. One thing we should point out, Bill, is these fighters can use their hands and feet virtually any way they want to, as long as they keep their kicks above the waist.
Right. The sweeps are not allowed, throws are not allowed, but strikes to the back of the neck, to the head, to the back are legal.
Less than 30 seconds to go, round one. Good right jab by Thomas. Vizzio trying to back Thomas into his corner. Roundhouse kick misses. Thomas looks a little disgusted with the action. Less than 10 seconds to go, opening round. The main event, Super Lightweight World Championship.
The basics, the action, the magazine.
The PKA Super Lightweight World Championship. The U.S. champ Paul Vizzio on your right against the world champ Cliff Thomas.
Again, Paul has to bridge that gap extremely quick because of Cliff Thomas's extreme height. Again, the kicks are far short because all Cliff Thomas has to do now is lean back.
Thomas trying to utilize that side kick. There's another one right to the midsection.
Good side kick that time.
Another one to the midsection, and then he catches Vizzio with a left-right combination. Oh, there's a stiff left to the face.
Good, strong side kick coming out. It doesn't score, but it keeps his opponent honest.
You've got to wonder how many of these kicks and punches Vizzio will take tonight in the way he fights.
Good right hand by Vizzio. Good right hand by Vizzio. Again, Cliff has a tendency to keep his guard down a little bit. Maybe that's so he can see. Maybe that's so he can use his left hand.
Less than a minute to go in round two.
Good jab.
Right jab.
Good jab.
And Paul Vizzio's right eye is beginning to redden.
Again, these fighters are using 8-ounce gloves, whereas the welterweights and above use the 10-ounce gloves.
There's a good left hand, floors Vizzio. Good left
hand.
hook.
He spun him around, and then when Vizzio dropped his guard, in came the left hand.
Vizzio with the 8 count. They'll come right back out. Opening round action. Pardon me, second round action. Vizzio trying to break out of the clinch. There's a good side kick by Vizzio. Good, two good right hands, and now he's got Thomas on the ropes, and Thomas fights his way off. A great round there for the champ as he connects and really hammers Vizzio to the turf, Bill.
Right. They were both against the ropes, and then they spun, and Cliff Thomas caught him with a good straight left hand right on the snout.
Let's take a look at the punch that floored the United States champion. Here it comes from the champ, Cliff Thomas.
Here they go against the ropes. Cliff backs against ropes. There he is now, right there, kaboom. Good, sharp punch.
And Vizzio, with a record of 15-1, is not used to being on his backside very often.
Not often at all. I think that's one of the only times I've ever seen him knocked down.
There you see a great close-up of Vizzio. Handlers talking to him, undoubtedly telling him to watch the jabs. Both fighters up, ready to go in round 3. Here we go, third round action. The main event from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Phil Stone with Bill Wallace. The U.S. champ Paul Vizzio trying to become the world champ if he can beat Cliff Thomas today.
It's a good defensive side pick by Cliff. I think it's interesting to note also in Cliff Thomas's corner is the #1 contender in the light heavyweight division in Jeff Smith, and the ex-first #1 contender in Paul Vizzio's corner is Emilio Narvaez. I fought him in 1977.
Each fighter with some great talent in his corner. Vizzio, the white fighter, Thomas, the black fighter.
Paul is throwing a lot of techniques, but again, you can see Cliff catch him on the gloves.
Vizzio is an excellent technician.
He's got a lot to do, though. He's got that bridge that gap, whereas Cliff Thomas can just reach out with a kick.
Oh, a great
good left roundhouse
side kick. A roundhouse kick floors Vizzio. And as you see, he's holding his right ear.
I think he caught him right in the ear. It could have popped his eardrum.
Vizzio trying to stay up here in round 3. Been down twice in this fight, once in the second round and now here in round number 3.
Good combination, good combinations to the body. I think Paul's getting just a little flustered now. His eyes are blinking a little bit.
Oh,
another
left hook. And a good front kick, another good left hook, and down goes Thomas.
And I think it was a wrestling. Wrestle him down.
It will not count.
No.
Another good left hand by Thomas. It will go down as a slip. No knockdown, less than 10 seconds to go here in round 3, and it has been all Cliff Thomas. A spinning back kick does not land. Vizzio in trouble here. As we approach round 4, he has been down twice. Round 4 for the PKA Super Lightweight World Championship. The world champ Cliff Thomas against the U.S. champ Paul Vizzio. Bill, how do you have it scored thus far through 3 rounds?
Well, you have to give it to Cliff. I think Cliff's got it by 2 rounds. He's got a 30-28. Simply because of the knockdowns. He's very cool. He's had some good kicks, good combinations. I think he's kind of frustrating Paul Vizzio because he's, again, a southpaw fighter, and he's got very good strength for as tall as he is.
Both fighters there trying to exchange the side kick, and he really backs Thomas up with a good left hand. A good right jab. Bill, what tires a fighter more? Consistently kicking him or consistently punching him?
I think it's the pressure. You can get an opponent to keep pressure on you, and you'll make yourself tired just by trying to think and knowing that that guy's going to hit you in a minute.
Vizzio victimized there by a good left and right before Thomas falls off balance. No knockdown. Less than a minute to go in round 4. Cliff Thomas, a record of 17-2 with 8 knockouts. Vizzio 15-1 with 5 KOs. A good left hook, an overhand left scores. Here's the side kick, throws Vizzio off balance momentarily. He comes right back at him, tries to throw the looping right, will not land.
I think you'll notice also that Paul, a lot of times when he's throwing his punches, is off balance because basically the balance of the left-right side fighter.
Thomas goes down in the middle of throwing a kick. It will not score as a knockdown. Vizzio now trying to keep Cliff Thomas off balance, trying to get the fighter off balance. Moves in a couple of good punches and a good left leg.
Paul has a little mouse under his right eye.
Thomas feigning with the jab. Good right hand to the face. Less than 10 seconds to go here in round 4. To the body goes Vizzio.
Don't be left in the dark when it comes to personal defense.
Bill Wallace, and this is the PKA Super Lightweight World Championship. Bill, how do you have it scored by round so far?
I think Cliff has it by about 3 rounds right now. I would say I would give him 50 to probably 30, 39. Or excuse me, 40, 40, 47.
About 3 to 4 points.
Yeah. Again, Cliff is getting that side kick in when Paul is trying to close that gap because it's coming up from the floor rather than coming up and then out.
We talked about Vizzio's aggressiveness, and there he's trying to put Thomas on the ropes. And Cliff comes right off of him.
This looks like it could be a good round for Paul. He's again, the more aggressive, but Thomas is picking his shots. Again, another side kick that pushes Paul away.
Each fighter must land 8 kicks per round, and that alone has to tire a fighter out.
Oh, definitely. And these two fighters are averaging pretty close to 12, 13 kicks per round.
Less than a minute to go here in round 5. Vizzio, the only visible signs of the fight so far, a small bruise under his right eye as he lands a good right hand at Thomas's stomach. Tries to go upstairs, catches him with a right hook.
Again, he's off balance when he's throwing it, so there's nothing really behind it. He's hitting him, but there's nothing behind it. Another good side kick by Cliff Thomas.
Thomas making the side kick work to perfection here today. Less than 30 seconds to go, round 5.
If you'll notice, when Paul steps in, he brings his left hand up, which opens himself up for the defensive side kick.
There's a spinning back kick that did not land, and Vizzio goes down. There's a good right hand by Vizzio. Cut Thomas back it up, and that scores. Good round for Paul Vizzio. Round 6, the world champ against Paul Vizzio, the United States champion. Vizzio lands a
good right hand.
overhand.
Good right hand.
Vizzio misses there with a roundhouse kick, tries another with his front foot, does not land. Now that had to hurt Thomas. Vizzio again with a right hand, backs him up on the ropes. Cliff tries to fight his way out and does so. Cliff is landing that side kick very, very well to the midsection.
Yeah, and it's gaining respect from Paul, too, because you notice Paul's starting to keep his left elbow down. His side is a little red, so that's telling him it's getting in.
Both fighters missing with jabs and hooks. Vizzio with a good right hook to the body. Round 6, the main event, a super lightweight world championship. What a fight it has been into the 6th round. Spinning back kick lands on Vizzio's chin, not very hard. Still have the world champ ahead, Bill?
Yes, sir. I've had him by about 2 rounds this time. I give that last round to Paul Vizzio simply because his aggressiveness, he landed more shots, but you still can't take away from the 2 knockdowns.
Vizzio's been down twice and maybe down a 3rd time, and I think
left
they're going
hook.
to count it. Yes,
Good left hook.
A left
Yes.
hook put him to the canvas. And the referee, Jeff Will of Columbus, Ohio, will administer the 8 count and wave them back at each other.
Again, being right side forward has really, I guess, flabbergasted Paul Vizzio. I've never seen him knock down. I've never seen him create the openings that he's creating on himself.
By right side forward, Bill is referring to the fact that Thomas is fighting in the southpaw stance.
And everything's coming the wrong way.
The wrong way. Vizzio backing Thomas up, cannot land a thing. Been a good round for Cliff Thomas again, putting Vizzio down. As we come to the end of round 6, it has been Cliff Thomas.
The faces, the action, the magazine. Enter the exciting world of the martial art.
Here we go, round 7. Paul Vizzio versus the world champ, Cliff Thomas. The main event from Atlantic City, New Jersey, as Vizzio puts Thomas up against the ropes. Thomas comes bounding off of him.
If you notice, when you see this, Paul Vizzio has to bridge such a long distance that the kicks fall far short, and then when he does fall down, he's within Cliff Thomas's range with that left hand.
Now, as you can plainly see, Vizzio, the smaller of the 2 fighters.
Good defensive side kick. Good side kick.
Side kick has unquestionably been Thomas's most effective kick in this fight.
Good, another defensive side kick to the chest. Nothing there, but it pushes him away.
The name of the game, to keep your opponent off balance. Whether you do it with punches, whether you do it with kicks, makes no difference as long as you can keep him off stride.
Right, if I hit you and you don't hit me, I win.
A good left side kick again by Thomas. Vizzio has to be frustrated here in round 7.
Good right hand by Paul Vizzio. Good right hand. Good combinations down low. But again, Cliff is coming back. Cliff is a very strong fighter for as tall as he is. Got a lot of torque, a lot of twisting force in those punches.
Vizzio trying to land to the body. Backs Thomas up. Cliff with a stinging jab right into the eyes of Vizzio. Paul Vizzio, the white fighter. Cliff Thomas, the black fighter. Tries that front kick, does not land.
Again, though, it keeps your opponent away.
Good right hand, backs Thomas up into the corner. Less than 10 seconds to go here in round 7. Vizzio with Thomas on the ropes can land nothing as round 7 comes to a close. Phil Stone with Bill Wallace from Atlantic City, New Jersey. The Super Lightweight World Championship, round 8. It is Cliff Thomas, the world champ, against the U.S. champ Paul Vizzio, and Bill Wallace through 7 rounds thus far. Is Vizzio's strategy right? This is his big chance at a title.
I don't think it is. He's trying to bridge that gap, and Cliff Thomas is waiting for him. He's in close. He's trying to mix it up. Cliff Thomas is too strong for him. He's trying to bridge a gap. He runs into a Cliff Thomas sidekick.
Well, he's run into 2 side kicks that put him down in the first and second round, and then he ran into a good left hand from Thomas in round number 6. Vizzio has been down 3 times. Thomas has not been to the canvas once. We are in round 8. Vizzio to your left.
Either Paul Vizzio should stay right on Cliff Thomas's chest, or should stay away to where Cliff Thomas cannot reach him. Not within that no man's land.
Well, as we mentioned early on, Thomas has the reach. He is the taller and the longer reach of the 2 fighters. Under a minute to go, round 8, with a PKA Super Lightweight Championship. Here at ringside, Bill, and when you look at Vizzio, he is looking into Thomas's eyes. When you're looking at Thomas, he's looking at the waist of Vizzio.
Right. Again, different people watch different things. If you watch the eyes, you can be faked out. Again, you watch the chest, you watch the shoulders, you watch the waist. When they move, the whole body has to move. Again, it's where you were taught.
Less than 30 seconds to go here. And a side kick lands on Vizzio's chest.
It looks to me as if, after watching this for a while, if Cliff Thomas wants a good uppercut,
Right, Thomas. That's left uppercut, and down goes Vizzio. Oh, he landed.
Two of the hardest hitting videos ever on.
Round 9. Paul Vizzio to the canvas 4 times so far in this fight. Are you surprised?
I'm very much surprised. I think Paul Vizzio is surprised also. I think he's disgusted with himself because everything is different. He's getting hit with things that he normally does not get hit with simply because the guy's fighting him wrong.
A good left kick catches Vizzio on the side of the head, knocks him off balance. Vizzio, the white fighter. The world champion, Cliff Thomas, the black fighter. Good right jab gets in. Vizzio tries to counter with a side kick to keep Thomas off balance. Bill, your scorecard through 8 rounds.
I give Cliff Thomas the edge quite a bit. I give Cliff Thomas 6 rounds.
Again, this fight's scheduled to go 12. We are in round number 9. Thomas seems to have an awful lot left.
Oh yeah, he doesn't seem tired at all. He has not lost his composure. He's ready. When Paul Vizzio throws a punch or a kick, all Cliff Thomas does is lean back. He's a good 2 feet from him.
Good right jab by Vizzio, lands right on the cheek of Thomas. What do you think of Vizzio's strategy here in round 9?
Well, again, he's staying away from him. He's staying away and trying to pick his shots. But again, he's still close enough to Cliff Thomas to get hit. He should get in and get out of there.
Thomas still relying on that side kick to the midsection. Vizzio moves him against the ropes. Another good side kick, less than 30 seconds to go.
What Paul Vizzio is doing right now is bridging the gap for Cliff Thomas. He's doing the work for Cliff Thomas.
There you see it again. Thomas leaning against the ropes, just thrusts out that left foot and pushes Vizzio away from him. Oh, a good right-left combination. Explosive left hand, Bill. As round 9 comes to a close. Let's go to Vizzio's corner, and he's talking to his trainer, and I thought
I don't think he wants anymore.
I thought he said I can't go again.
I think he doesn't want anymore. I think his trainer should listen to him. He's been knocked down 5 times. I think he's done. He's done. He's not going to keep fighting. He can't even stand up now. The trainer should not let him go on.
Paul Vizzio wobbly, and here goes his trainer across the ring. Let's take a look at it again. The right-left combination, Bill, that put him down. Right here it comes.
Right. Again, Paul's hands come up, but he's dropped it right there, and a very good left hand. Very good left hand.
It is over. It is all over. Paul Vizzio cannot continue. The winner, and still the PKA Super Lightweight World Champion, is Cliff Thomas.
As it turned out, Paul Vizzio had his jaw broken early on and had it broken a second time later in the fight. He's quite a tough little competitor, Joe.
I think tough is really an understatement, Art. Normally when your jaw is broken the way his was, you'd want to wait a full year before having it tested again. But Vizzio insisted 4 months later in fighting Thomas again. They met in Madison Square Garden, and Vizzio won a unanimous decision. Now, Thomas moved on up in weight, and Vizzio still reigns as the champion in this division, which we now call the featherweight division. Thomas always wanted a third match, Art, but it never happened.
Well, now
Sacramento ranks second.